Hey guys, welcome to the MC Anime Podcast. We cover anime, geek culture, Japanese aesthetics, and Asian studies. We are a multi-fandom podcast, and you can expect to hear topics in your favorite hobby or fandom activity potentially. You can find MC Anime on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, please check out mcanimepodcast.com, our website. Furthermore, stay tuned in for another episode.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC here, and today I have another special guest with me. Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So,
Yeah.
what do you do? And, overall, what do you like as a person?
So currently, I'm currently just graduated out of high school, entering college next year. In terms of Minecraft, I've played since the end of 1.7, beginning of 1.8, around that time period. So that's been around since like 2014. So I've been an avid fan of Minecraft, though I have taken my breaks. I also like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And in terms of interests, I'm interested in robotics and mathematics, so I may study something like that during college. Now, in terms of Minecraft, I'd like to first discuss what I think is so popular, and even so many years after it's been released. I think it boils down to a few reasons. So I think one of the big runs that's overlooked a lot of times is accessibility, meaning I'm not talking about the game's price, though it is relatively cheap for a PC game. It's more about specs, meaning that people like to make fun of it for being blocky. That blockiness and low resolution and low fidelity graphics allows it to be run on a variety of machines. So I'm sure a lot of people listening who've played Minecraft may have started out playing as a young kid with one of their parents' old laptops or computers, or just like a dump top, So even with those old computers, you were still able to run it, especially with Optifine and lowered settings. With a lot of other games, like a lot of other AAA games being, I guess, out of our ability to play due to the current machines most kids had, not necessarily being able to run it. Another thing is versatility, meaning that despite Minecraft being a single game, it certainly does not feel like it. Just looking at like what you can do in single player, you have normal survival, you have all the building projects you can do, you have all the machines you can make, you have the redstone, and outside of that you have mods, which completely change the game, add probably thousands of times the normal content. And then you have stuff like servers. You have mini games, which feel completely different and switch it up from normal Minecraft. You have other types of servers like factions or survival, where it's more long term. So overall, I think those are the two biggest reasons why it's so successful and it continues to see a strong player base.
Oh, yeah. And, thanks for the nice introduction to this particular episode. Minecraft gaming
Yeah, no problem.
and the components to play it. So,
Yeah.
I welcome Nick here to talk about the gaming aspect of Minecraft and the components to play it, and we're going to combine it into this particular podcast, and we're going to do like a small deep dive into just the introduction that Nick just gave, and then go from there. So, mention the blocks and accessibility and versatility. One thing I would really like a lot about Minecraft is the building aspect. You use the blocks to make whatever you want, craft whatever you want, and then you also have the simple gameplay of, survival, build what you want in different modes, and overall feeding the regular life count with the hearts, and then night and day switching, and then the monsters. So that's like the simple
Yeah.
stuff I like.
Okay, so you prefer like the more vanilla stuff.
Well,
Going back to
I like the core concept.
yeah, the core concepts. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do the core concepts still apply to like stuff like even like modern survival too,
Yeah.
which can be very different. I think one of the big things about like Minecraft is all those things you said can start off very casual, meaning they're very beginner friendly. So like your average grade schooler can easily get into Minecraft and understand the basic mechanics of it and do well without being somewhat slammed without having to deal with a steep learning curve.
Yep.
However, as like in addition to its like seeming simplicity, as you progress and learn more about the game, there's so much more than what meets the eye. I mean, you've probably seen videos of people making entire computers in Minecraft. That's definitely on the higher end.
Mm-hmm.
There's after you do the basic stuff like killing the Ender Dragon, building your house, getting some diamonds and netherite. You're able to move on to stuff like farms, go onto servers that are in PvP, play with friends, start learning how to build better and building better mansions and other builds. So I think that it's like its initial casual appeal while also being able to maintain a lot of progression in terms of like what you can do later on
Mm-hmm.
is what makes it so much more unique than other games. Like you have the sandbox aspect. There's no other game that gives you the freedom to do what you want to do in Minecraft. Like you have Terraria, which is somewhat close, but even then it's only 2D, which limits what you can do, and you don't have a lot of the complex redstone and other mechanics that Minecraft does.
Yeah.
In terms of survival, I think that a lot there does seem to be a resurgence recently in how many people are playing survival, as a lot of the community is back to SMPs. As I guess so, when Minecraft first started, of course it was just normal survival normally. That was what most people were playing. But then you had big eras where just servers. So if you were to play with a friend, you weren't really doing survival. I guess like the mid 2010s, mid to late 2010s, you were mainly just going on Hypixel or Mineplex. But now although those servers are still very popular, there seems to be a shift to more people playing on the survival servers, which speaks to Minecraft's ability to keep players engaged with core mechanics with players that have played it for so long, for more than a decade.
Mm-hmm. And
I think, yeah.
I think another thing with survival that's also really interesting. I mean, it imitates what survival's like in Minecraft. That's one. You continue to build while in survival mode. Do the things you need to do. Replenish your health. Replenish the food. Cook the food. Build the materials. Build the pickaxes, the tools, armor, stuff like that to give you an edge up, and then, be careful in dark places during the daytime. Some creatures during the day, not all of them, but most of them come at night. So the shift of either getting to somewhere safe or making sure you have the right equipment to, do a battle, even in surprise attack, is something to consider.
Yeah, I mean, early game Minecraft, and also you also have to deal with that speed running especially too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's normally with more advanced or more competitive players. But just I'm speaking on a casual level. The early game challenges are definitely very engaging, and they're very different than other games. For example, if you're to play like Skyrim, you your early game is you already start off with stuff. You start off with stuff automatically. You start off with weapons. You start off with supplies already. While in Minecraft, you start off with nothing. You craft weapons, and you're pretty much building your shelter. There's nothing set up there for you already. There's no map made like you would have in another open world game. and then it's pretty much up to the player how they want the world to be like, which of course is part of Minecraft's mind-blowing freedom that's given to the players.
Mm-hmm.
I think in addition to that, as you progress to the late game, the goals and the challenges really change. Shift kind of like from basic survival to more advanced stuff like making farms, automating things, working on big builds, and that's just single player too. I think one thing I would like to talk about, if not now, maybe a little bit later, is the big multiplayer aspect of Minecraft and why that's so engaging too.
Okay. I mean, multiplayer is engaging by the fact that you join different servers, you be with different people, you can create private worlds, they get access, you can invite huge amounts of people. I think the servers in Minecraft, you can get over 100 people easily, and they all in one place doing all the things, whatever the multiplayer is doing. And also with the multiplayer, the factions being implemented, building up different challenges as multiplayer, basically, doing teams, see who can do this faster than this team, stuff like that. Kind of encourage the players to do more with it. And plus, a lot of people with multiplayer, most convenient servers for that to talk is like Discord, video chats, to basically talk to everybody, or at least, type if you really have to. And then you can have everyone's username, and that's how you tell people apart most of the time. And those skins too.
Yeah, there's a big social aspect to multiplayer. Like if you've ever played factions even somewhat seriously, you're often on your call with your faction members and your teammates. A lot of, especially when you're playing on high levels or very seriously, it does require you to be in a Discord call to communicate with other people. I think one cool thing is that each server is its own microcosm, with its own like very different communities. For example, like if you look at 2v2t and Anarchy server, its community is gonna be extremely different from like the community a survival server would have, like a more casual server.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you look at something like factions, especially in something like factions, every good player knows all the other good players. You set up your own teams, and people specialize in their own fields, meaning that you'll have people who know how to build bases well and understand how to stop TNT cannons from breaking walls and how to make it much harder for them. We'll have other people that will design cannons and help raid bases with other people being PvPers. That's just one aspect. And a lot of these game modes that seem simple have a lot more strategy than people think. For example, if you ever played factions, you'll see cannons that take up multiple chunks going from bedrock, the sky limit, and you'll see that the amount of, like, if you're just looking at the circuitry, the redstone circuitry, you'll see the amount of thought and the amount of dedication that goes onto high level Minecraft play. But in addition to that, I kind of like to move on to some of the more casual servers too, like Hypixel. You have a big minigame community, and a lot of that too is promoted by YouTube, meaning that part of Minecraft's incredible growth and incredible popularity was due to like how popular it got on YouTube. You'll see like a lot of YouTubers playing stuff like on Hypixel, like initially in the mid 2010s. Most YouTubers were playing on like Hypixel or Mineplex, those types of minigame servers, with some branching out to factions. And you'll notice that during that time, the the main thing that people played on was whatever other YouTubers played on, and which is what you notice stuff like the Dream SMP and all these other SMPs have inspired other people to create their own SMPs. So if you want to look at like the shifts in what Minecraft players are actually playing, you should look what's on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. Anything you like to interject with?
Yeah. YouTube does a lot to promote the different gaming that the community builds, especially with Minecraft. There's all these different videos. There's all these different tasks, builds, different themes. It really encapsulates what Minecraft can be like, an overall, like, capture on the screen kind of thing. Because yes, anyone can play the game and do these different things, but the YouTube tutorials, the interaction of the SMP, the Dream SMP being so impactful, and the different servers actually gaining the popularity kind of boost it even more. Because when you have people filming whatever game they play and then put it into video content, the more people that video reaches, the more that can simulate a percentage of those viewers to actually play the game. So it's very important to have that marketing or promotion type situation, but also have a follower base with people engaged in that content that you are making. And Minecraft is very loose in freedom to make the content you want because it's so easy to do that type of content with. That's another reason why I like Minecraft. It's the simple fact that it can be anything you want because it's so loosely interpreted.
Yeah, it kind of has like a Lego-like appeal. I think you notice this with how popular Minecraft is and how saturated with how saturated YouTube is with Minecraft videos. You start to like think it'll become trite, and viewers will start to lose interest in the game. But because of the flexibility of Minecraft and how much stuff you can do with it, if one type of Minecraft content starts to slow down in terms of popularity, another will always pick up just because Minecraft is able to quickly pivot into something else while still playing the same game. Oh, I think another major thing to talk about with Minecraft servers is it's mainly right now it's currently basically a monopoly. Like Hypixel basically has a monopoly on like normal Minecraft servers that aren't like your SMP. You have like two other buddies. If you look at the most popular servers next to it, they barely have a fraction of its player base. So which is causing innovation to slow down, meaning that the only server that's actually doing anything is Hypixel. Really, a lot of the other servers are still doing the same game modes, similar mini games as Hypixel, are doing stuff like factions without changing anything. While Hypixel does innovate with stuff like Skyblock, a lot of it's due to it being monopoly. It doesn't really have any incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Incentives to like make more new content, as everyone automatically plays on that server, which I think is going to cause a gradual slowdown in terms of like popularity of big Minecraft servers. I think another big problem in addition to that is players being unwilling or generally unwilling to try out different servers, meaning that you'll have some players like one example is the Bajan Canadian. He was a Minecraft YouTuber. He stopped YouTube and made his own like Minecraft server. Built this whole map, started a storyline, spent a lot of time programming custom items and just custom plugins and stuff to make the game more interesting. And although there was a slight boost going up to like 1,000 players concurrent, what happens is that players quickly lose interest and don't give servers time to make new content, which ended up eventually killing the server, with the server barely being able to reach like 20 players concurrent after investing like thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. So this is kind of causing a lot of the servers that aren't Hypixel pretty much be derivatives of each other, having the same content, which is one thing on its own, but that low player base in a lot of these other servers causes another big problem, which is pay to win. So according to Minecraft's EULA, which kind of like its terms of service, pay to win is not allowed. However, unfortunately, Microsoft does not enforce it at all, meaning that if you ever hop on to a random faction server, they'll most likely have a shop selling ranks for like hundreds of dollars that give you significant advantages over other players. This type of monetary system really hurts the game, as it's turning it from a thing that you buy once and you play. It's ruining the accessibility of it, because while you can play those servers a lot of times free to play, you'll end up being fodder for players who are willing to spend a lot more. In addition to that, a lot of them use loot boxes and sell loot keys for real money, which they do the same thing as what a lot of other AAA video game companies are accused of in terms of like promoting gambling to children. I think these are all very big problems that need to be addressed in the future by Microsoft. I think it would be good if Microsoft clamped down on that instead of doing what they're doing with. I mean, I think Microsoft is clamping down the wrong ways, meaning they're clamping down on servers' abilities to moderate players, meaning that if you've heard about the new system they've brought to Java, where you can report players and players can report players, and Microsoft moderators will look at it and potentially ban them from multiplayer period. I don't think that's a good way to do it, and I think Microsoft really, instead of focusing their energy on that, they need to start clamping down and getting a lot of these pay to win servers to change their model, their monetary model, something similar to like Hypix or 2B2T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pay to win is a problem, because not only does it encourage the players that don't have the money to be at hugely disadvantaged, the people that do pay the money gives the whatever server selling it the profit to give them the equipment to be at the high level, to be advantageous. But at the same time, that person is spending a bunch more money than they need to on a game on a server that doesn't really specify that spending. Like, most of Minecraft is not in-game spending as much, so it's kind of disencouraging the player more to spend all that money, even though you don't spend as much money as other games. It does not have Minecraft is marketed it, so it kind of markets it in like similar to how microtransactions work, but it's pay to win, and it disencourages people to play more.
Yeah, they have microtransactions, but the transaction amounts are so big they can't be called micro. Like spending like $150 for a rank, it should not be a thing, and that's definitely way above even microtransactions in terms of how it harms a game. I think the reason pay to win is against the EULA is that like the original vision for Minecraft was that you bought the game and then that was it. Once you bought the game, you'd be able to play it however you'd be able to play on the servers, single player however you liked, without ever feeling the need to buy other things. It's also deceitful to new players. If a lot of these servers are populated by older Minecraft veterans, and it's eventually people are going to quit Minecraft, and so in order for these servers to keep on running and just Minecraft like to stay relevant, you're going to need to not pander, but you need to treat the younger newer players well, and when a new player logs onto a faction server, or survival server, or a prison server, and sees that they're getting destroyed by players who spent a few $100s on a rank, and that's so much of an advantage that even if they were to play all day, they never would catch up. It's discouraging, and it's something that causes a lot of players to quit the game entirely.
And also, it goes back into the servers doing the same thing over and over. The pay-to-win model is another thing that's repetitive that makes more players go away. The simple fact that not only do they not have the edge over other people, they have to work harder for that, but other people don't. And for another thing, with the servers, probably because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of why they might not encourage new content, because they don't know how the new content will be upheld if the current people just want what they used to. Because let's go to this for example, customer demand. The customer always decides what they want. So if the stimulus trends in the market always stay steady, they're going to keep buying what they basically want, what they want to spend the money on. And anything new, you have to take the risk and actually expose yourself. So these servers are not necessarily taking the risk that they need to do new things, so they're not exposing themselves in a way that's unique and bringing new people to that particular server because they might be unique in this particular feature.
Yeah, I was talking about this. I was talking about this earlier too. That a lot of players aren't willing to tough it out and spend more than like a few weeks at a time trying out servers that do try to innovate, because you have to realize that these servers are spending thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to make new modes, new game modes, and new ways to play the game. So each time, so every time, like another server owner sees one of his fellow server owners go out of business after spending all that money because people weren't willing to wait or weren't willing to leave big servers like Hypixel, it discourages them from improving. I think one of the big problems is that it's hard to take players away from Hypixel, meaning that a lot of these games are more fun with more people. So meaning that a lot of people will join servers just because they have a lot of players playing, meaning that playing on a faction server with 5 players is not going to be very fun, as there's like no competition and really no one even to play with, as opposed to a server that has like a few hundred players concurrently online, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the big struggles is it's kind of like stacks up it's the odds are stacked against new server owners, as not having that player base already is a big turnoff and prevents them from building that player base. So it's kind of like a paradox where they need where in order to get more players, you already need to have a lot of players online.
True. Well, here's my question: if Hypixel is so big, why don't they just create sub servers and then create different communities based on the new content, and they can bring people over from the main server?
Hypixel actually is a bunch of servers connected together.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll explain that a little bit later. But back to like the community saying there is Hypixel does have its own like sub communities, meaning that the Bed Wars community is a completely different from like the Skyblock community there, for example, right? So they do that. It's just that they're mainly other than Skyblock, everything else is mini games. So if they were to add, and they are working on survival SMP, but that's different. That's more like a normal SMP. But if they were to add something like factions or another long-term game mode, I feel like that would definitely help the game a lot, as there are a lot of players that I feel like do miss those like miss that longer, more progression, but just can't find any good servers. But going back to what I was saying about Hypixel being a collection of servers, Minecraft like on its own, like a no Minecraft server is able to hold, like there's an upper limit of how many players a Minecraft server can hold. Minecraft isn't built in a way that allows like 500 players to play at the same time on the same server. So if you're logged on to Hypixel, each lobby, each game is its own server. So Hypixel is in reality not a single server. It's a collection of like hundreds of servers together, struck together. So each time you switch lobbies or go to a different game, you're really switching over to a different server.
True. So
yes. So going back to mini games now, there seems to be more of a, although like you'll still see like thousands of concurrent players like different mini games on Hypixel, it is shifting towards stuff like Skyblock and more longer term games. So there definitely is a big demand for those types of game modes where it's not mini, but like where players are offered more progression and more options than like normal survival. So I do think there is a demand for stuff like a better faction server or just even a better prison server. Even though I personally don't really like that, it just hasn't been met yet, which is like which I was talking about earlier, how it's difficult because a lot of the servers do like a lot of times you do need like an already existing player base to attract more players, which is why I think Hypixel would be very successful if they started that themselves.
True. I also feel that one of the modes that I've been seeing neglected more is the creative mode. Like in the beginning, creative mode was so much a big thing. Now it's more of these, multiplayer and factions and mods and servers. I think the creative mode has like kind of died down a lot.
Yeah, I think all three of those you mentioned also have died down. Like mods are like, a lot of people still play mods, but it's not as popular. Definitely not like close to the version that gets peak popularity, where you'd always see like YouTubers trying out different mods and stuff in mod showcases. But with creative, it definitely is not as big. I think one of the big reasons is that a lot of the builders don't really a lot of the building videos you see on YouTube are done in hardcore mode and or survival mode. I think that influences player preferences. So a lot of the younger players that see that, I think when they see a YouTuber having fun and building stuff in survival and hardcore, they'll automatically go for that game mode instead of switching over to creative. And a lot of the creative builders are mainly just building big maps, and they're not you don't really see them often on stuff like YouTube, and the community is more closed in, I'd say, in terms of not something unwelcoming or anything, but I'm just saying that it's not as well advertised as something like that survival community or hardcore community.
Oh, I know, but I don't know. It just has that greater appeal to me because you can build what you want, show off the projects, and then I don't know, just take a bunch of time to take inspiration from this design, incorporate into this, try to do like a character, try to make it like a theme, and go out all out on it. You know?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do think though that building is still extremely popular. Like building communities is still extremely popular. Still thriving a lot. It's just that I think a lot of people also enjoy the aspect of collecting resources. Like a lot of people enjoy mining or like making farms and stuff like that. So like once you get into really late game like survival or hardcore, you are able to pretty much like, you do have pretty much limitless resources. So it is although it isn't creative, like you're still able to do similar things. And it seems that a lot of people like to do that themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with a lot of people playing SMPs and stuff. Like if you want to play creative, but your like 3 other friends don't want or prefer like survival, you're most likely gonna like suck it up and go with survival, which is somewhat of a shame.
Yeah, I also feel like the market for creative builders is now people that get paid just to build what you want.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely it. I don't know. It is. I do think it's an important service, like for servers and stuff like that. But yeah, it is some of a shame that the creative community isn't as big as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have seen creative game modes on servers and stuff, but I guess one of the big problems with that is those creative servers are basically single player.
Yeah.
Like you can have friends come up, you can have like friends come over, but at that point, it might as well just like an SMP. And a lot of times, like the plots and stuff they give you are of limited size, so like a lot of these major builders will prefer to play like in a single player world where they can use like world edit and where they can like download their world and also have access to a much bigger world a world that's much bigger than their plots. I don't know. I think you may think it's not as thriving, like it's not as popular as it is, mostly due to people playing having their own little groups instead of like congregating on servers like you'd see in other game modes.
True.
So I do think that it is more popular than you may think. Like it is more popular than it seems at first glance. It's just that you're not gonna like find a lot of dedicated builders playing putting on creative servers and stuff like that.
The thing I keep finding that's particular, like people pay all these people to build whatever they want, but like, what are the uses of paying someone to build Minecraft projects for you? Like, is there much appeal for people to do that just because they're lazy, or they have uh, another way to do it?
I don't think it's because people are lazy per se.
Mm.
A lot of the fun, like anyone can download like a big like kingdom or like a big build from online. Most of the fun, like all the fun in building is building it yourself and doing it yourself. A lot of the time the people are paying for it, it's like I think it's like for servers and stuff, for like to make servers look better. Like for building maps for servers or lobbies, and it's also for making like adventure maps and like mod pack maps and stuff like that, where they're trying to make their own like kind of like mini Minecraft game, I guess.
Oh, okay. So there's the question: if servers are spending all this money, how do servers get the money they need to stay afloat? Is it like a membership fees, or is it the pay to win model?
So I think there's 2 big models that aren't pay to win that are being very successful. So the biggest one is Hypixel. If you look at Hypixel is not pay to win at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do think in the long run, like in the short run, it may have hurt their profits and stuff. But in the long run, it keeps players interested. So you have stuff like cosmetics, stuff like arena and perks that help quality of life, like being able to fly around in lobbies, but don't actually give any actual competitive advantage in games. So stuff like that. A lot of times that does not work for for stuff like factions, as it's hard to give advantages that don't actually give people like actual advantages.
Yeah.
Maybe something like being able to fly in lobbies, but not like outside of that area, or cosmetics like coding in or trying to make like pets, like special pets for people that donate, or special titles and stuff like that. And then another way, like in addition to cosmetics, is like similar like memberships. Like for example, if you look at serve like 2B2T, they have something called I think it's Premium Pass or Premium Queue, where it gives you, or Priority Queue, where it lets you get into the server faster when it's overflowing with players. Though, so the main each of these monetization methods do have some problems, meaning that for the Priority Queue, it does require you to have a very active player base, as you're not going to have people are not going to be able to buy, or not going to be able to buy like Priority Queue if there is no queue already, like if the server isn't already extremely popular.
Yeah.
And stuff. So that mainly leaves cosmetics for like up and coming servers. And I don't know, the thing with cosmetics is you also have to spend time making like cosmetics that are worthwhile. Because a lot of the cosmetics on these pay to win servers are stuff like are boring things like titles, or like or you want to change your name, or putting colors to your name. I think a lot of stuff, if it was added to be like something more interesting, like coding like pets, like Mindplex had, or Hypixel had, or giving like interesting particle effects, things like that. I think that's the way to go. Mainly, just making actually interesting cosmetics.
True. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to entertain the public, find the ways in the server to be interactive enough to attract the new players, keep the old players happy. Found that balance that kind of not only makes everyone happy, but also the continuity building up the server, maintaining it, make sure that you have the staff involved. If you have too many people, that you at least have the staff to match the player base. So if it's like 500 players and you have staff that can do like 50 players each, you need to have those 10 staff per 50 people to match that volume and continue to make the server to what it is. And overall, if people are volunteering, give them advantages as staff to incentivize them to stay as staff, because sometimes these servers don't get paid enough, so most of the people are going to be volunteering most of the time because they're highly invested in the particular server if they want to be more of an active role in that staff situation.
Yeah, I do think having good staff is very crucial. A lot of these servers don't have, a lot of times you'll have periods where for multiple hours, even on like somewhat big servers, you'll have no staff online in the particular game mode you're in, even if there's like 100 plus players in that one game mode. And it ends up being a problem that a lot of the servers may not be able to afford staff. If you like, for example, Hypixel, which I keep going back to as it is the Minecraft server in popularity, at least. They pay their staff work. Like being a staff member in Hypixel is a normal job. Is a normal job. If you were being paid a full-time salary, for example, I remember hearing it was like 50,000 a year. So they are actually paying serious money for staff members to keep the server in check. Though I feel like at some level you don't always need like a large amount of staff like initially, as long as you treat players somewhat fairly, your rules are or somewhat enforce or not. You don't have too many rules.
Yeah,
Too many
unenforceable.
And you have goodwill with the player base. You're not pulling ridiculous stunts and BS on them. I think if you respect the player base, although there will always be hackers and people trolling and especially like malicious people trying to DDoS your server, I do think you can get by with a lot of stuff initially. I think one other big thing is having good like anti-cheat and like DDoS protection. And also, as an owner, understanding and doing your research on how to prevent people from using lag machines to crash a server and using exploits and stuff like that. As you'll see, there's tons of videos, examples of people setting up huge lag machines doing a crash server for like hours without that when they add and like the server owners not being able to do anything about it, as they didn't spend the time to familiarize and learn more about that type of stuff.
Oh yeah. And as Minecraft progresses, I also think at some point, like, they're gonna have to like maybe branch out into like Minecraft itself pushing more content, because it might get stale for the future of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it is somewhat perplexing as, I don't know, maybe one idea is maybe like Mojang supported mod packs.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times the actual content doesn't take very long. It's just making sure that it's good for the game.
Yeah.
So if they would offer, and a lot of mod packs have that extra content what players want. It's just that there's not a lot of other people playing that specific mod pack because there's just too many options.
Mm-hmm.
So I think something like that, a Mojang supported mod pack or something like that, or Microsoft as they know it, something like that, like an officially supported mod packs or other stuff would definitely help. And another thing is Microsoft. My bad. As you see, a lot of the newer versions of as Minecraft updates more and more, it seems to be progressively more and more unstable for Minecraft servers and unfriendly. So in terms of unfriendly, there's the obvious 1.9 update, combat update. If you played Minecraft during that time period, you would know how controversial it was. And pretty much all the servers, like all the major servers, operate on 1.8 PvP.
Mm-hmm.
And are running 1.8. Meaning you can like log into the server 1.19.
Yeah.
But it'll just be 1.8 content. And so that is Microsoft's lack of support or legacy support, support for the legacy combat system is definitely hurting it. But in addition to that, after 1.12, Minecraft became much more unstable. So a lot of anarchy servers and very big servers that were willing to go up to 1.9 PvP and make the switch have been stuck on 1.12 for the last few years, mainly due to it being physically impossible for them to run the server with the current player count on a newer version. So I do think it is up to Microsoft to work on optimizing it better for multiplayer, the newer versions at least, as there's pretty much nothing nothing server owners can do.
Yeah.
And I do think it is a smart investment for them as like Minecraft servers are a huge pool for the game with a lot of people even making more accounts on those servers as you heard people and stuff like that.
True. And another thing I think that they need to explore is like, I don't know, I really like a story mode in the game too. And I know Ender Dragon's part of the story and all that stuff. But like, do you think if they actually had a really interesting story mode, even more that people will actually start playing that as well?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe that seems like it might be a different game. But I think one thing, something more feasible Minecraft can do is start adding more lore to the game, and so creating more. So by adding more lore and more like updates that include lore, while not having like a traditional quest line or something like that.
Yeah.
By having stuff that hints at lore and gives more detail to like why stuff happens instead of having players having to guess about it from nothing, it creates more excitement for each update in addition to the new.
Yeah.
In addition, like instead of just players just being excited about like one new mob being added, they can also get excited about learning more about the Minecraft's lore or building a story, which creates more engagement. I think.
Yeah. It does, definitely. And
Yeah.
in the future of it, do you think the players are declining or increasing?
It's hard to say. During COVID, like during the height of COVID, you had a big like boost in pretty much in Minecraft just because people were at home. I remember seeing servers like Hypixel like having like 140,000 concurrent players, which is insane. So it does seem to be a decrease from that, but I don't know how to I don't know how to like close out. Like, I don't know like I don't know. I don't see. I'll tell you this. I see Minecraft remaining popular for a long time. I'm just not very sure if it will increase in popularity or what the trends will be in terms of like what types of stuff future players are doing, whether it be mini games, SMPs, normal servers, just creative, hardcore. It's hard to say.
So, do you think Hypixel is always going to be at the stand front of one of the larger servers, or do you think at some point they're going to cave because they're not doing as much to innovate for the player base?
I don't know. It's I think when you have that much market share, it's very hard to fail. Hypixel Hypixel I think could be called. You could say that Hypixel is so big it can't fail. So many players are playing on it that even if it decreases in popularity, I still think it'll strongly be number one at least for a while. Especially with the current trends of other servers like not being rewarded for their investments. That leaves like Hypixel with the like only server with enough capital to really make huge changes to the game, like they did with Skyblock or other game modes. So to answer your question like bluntly, I do think Hypixel is going to be the server for quite a while.
Okay. Do you think there's any rising server that is competing with Hypixel at the moment?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a kind of a shame because earlier on, Hypixel didn't have such a monopoly. Like because instead of being the big one, there used to be like the popular services like Hypixel, Mineplex, CubeCraft, and then maybe a few others, like the Hive, which shut down a few years ago, I think, or a little while ago. So it does seem that Hypixel has like consolidated like their market share or over the years. So, I don't know. So it's hard to say that the server community, like the server, like I guess the market for Minecraft servers isn't as competitive and bustling as it initially was, and it is ending up. It does seem, sadly, it does seem to be heading down like a monopoly, just and as with Hypixel just maintaining like position as a monopoly.
Very true.
Though, although it may sound bad calling it Hypixel monopoly, like in the end, nothing they're doing is like none of their business practices are very bad. They're how they make money is very fair. It's all optional cosmetics, and with cheap ranks and stuff like that. So although like Hypixel's dominance may cause some stagnation in innovation, Hypixel itself isn't doing anything very bad.
True. What do you think about this? Minecraft as a movie instead of as a game.
Minecraft does have so much franchise potential. I don't know. It's hard to say because there definitely is an audience for pretty much anything Minecraft related. Though I don't know, maybe something like a lore movie. It's hard to say. A lot of times you see like a lot of big IPs. You see a lot of big IPs currently. Like you see the MCU and like the Star Wars IP, Star Wars universe. All of those are pumping out shows and just pumping out whatever they can, any content they can to make money. And it does seem that people are getting tired of that type of quickly pushed out content, and seem like money grabbing like television and movies.
Yeah.
So it may already be saturated. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, you've seen stuff like, a little off topic. You see stuff like the new Miss Marvel, despite being like very highly rated like by critics, it is like it's lagging behind all like previous Marvel shows in viewership, just due to market saturation with all the other stuff coming out. So it depends. If Minecraft did make a movie, like if Microsoft did make a Minecraft movie or had another company do it for them, it would be an audience. Like people would watch. I'd probably watch it, but I don't know. I don't know about its value. I don't know. It's hard to say. Minecraft.
I mean, the
I
Lego
don't know.
movie did great. So, if
Yes.
something like
Yeah.
Lego, the sandbox community for Minecraft might do really well.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. I didn't initially think about that when I thought about video game movies. Like a lot of the other like video game movies haven't been very great. They've been somewhat successful, but they haven't been very great. So, but if you look at it from like a Lego movie perspective, you are hitting that same demographic of young kids who are gonna drag their parents with them to see the movie. So it could be popular. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Lego had the
I'll leave it
same
at that.
thing. You can create anything you want. Minecraft is the same thing. So
Yeah.
it can be a compilation of just Minecraft with other stuff put together, and it's really easy to get the licensing for because it's all free verse and freedom of speech.
Yeah, I don't know. If they were to piece together like a half if they were to piece together like a half decent movie that was like actually entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
I do think it would be a success. it's just hard, I guess, visualizing what it would look like. Right now, it would take some brainstorming to think something that's interesting enough. As like the Lego movies do have like coherent plot lines, and like in addition to their normal comedy and stuff like that.
So it just goes to show you that, the future of Minecraft is still undetermined. So do you see if they do any particular feature that it actually will skyrocket in popularity, or you think it'll just keep steady?
So did you say Skyblock?
No, skyrocket or steady.
Oh, Skyrocket. Oh, I mean, like if you asked me like 5 years ago or a few years ago when Minecraft seemed to be declining popularity, I don't know, it was like where it's still played, but it wasn't nearly as big as it is now. If you were to ask me that, I would say no. But then it skyrocketed in popularity again after its initial boom. I don't know. Minecraft seems to be the game that'll always float back to the front page of something like YouTube or resurge in popularity. So I guess my prediction would probably be maybe a slowish decline with a decent possibility of it being picked up by the YouTubers or trending on YouTube again, or another big like dream-esque YouTuber being created, skyrocketing it in popularity and introducing it to new audiences again, like it has been now. So yeah, so I do think there is still a lot of potential for Minecraft to reach high levels of popularity, Though the main problem is that Minecraft has already reached like near at the very least very near the ceiling, and there's only so your game can only get so popular, and everyone's heard of Minecraft. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Though I do think the game will be one of the most popular games for a while.
True. Is there anything else in the concluding stages that you want to say about this particular conversation about Minecraft gaming and the concepts to play it?
Yeah. So even if someone we're talking about earlier seems pessimistic about like servers and potential like stagnation and innovation there, even if that happens, all that's gonna be is that it's not gonna get actively worse. It's just gonna not improve. And I do think that it will be updated. Minecraft will be updated. It's gonna have major change, say shakeups and changes like it has in the past. So I do think it will stay fresh. And I think there's a lot to look forward to in the future for Minecraft.
True. And with me, I think that Minecraft will be in the minds of the people that already know it, will continue in the minds that people know it in the future, and with the very interesting aspects of what it offers, no other game has it, and it's very unique in the marketplace. So it will continue to do well, get the new players in it once, and overall inspire others to do creative projects like building, like make animation videos, like doing contests of tournaments to build particular designs or the best to win overall aesthetic and overall the player aspect of making the game more not a meme but an actual reality in terms of playability, being able to access it, being versified in the content, and overall enjoying the basic concepts of building the blocks on the screen to go from nothing to the mansion at the end and even have an entire map built by you by hand. So it's sky's the limits where Minecraft stands in right now to 5 years from now. Who knows?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, MC.
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, feel free to call me again if you'd like to talk about MC again.
yeah, interesting. Minecraft and MC for MC Anime. Haha. Didn't see that coming. But yeah, people, this concludes the particular episode of Minecraft Gaming and the components to play it. Thank you, Nick, for being here and guiding us through it and being very entertaining and informative at the same time.
Thank you.
And before we go, you can follow our podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. And don't forget that you can be on the Patreon community, be part of the MC Anime community, anime polls, different suggesting of podcasts of different culture, different content, and overall, maybe a special guest, topic proposal, all that is included. And do not forget to connect with us on mcanimepodcast.com. We'll be there, and that's where you have the main content. Thank you so much. And thanks for Nick for being here. Enjoy.
This concludes another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC Anime Podcast is available on podcast directories like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We also have our website at mcanimepodcast.com. If you want to directly support us, then follow Patreon blog MC Anime. Finally, if you want services for hire, then we're available on Fiverr for audio and video production, graphic design, idea consulting, and blog and article writing.